We are just gonna roll with it right there. I really hope that you've enjoyed the previous vlog, which is me fixing on our lawn together with my dad, a little bit of an excavator. One of the things that makes those videos so much fun is that I don't have to explain why I'm doing everything. And that for me is one of the benefits of making the vlogs. It's just documenting, having fun, and posting it for anyone to watch. There's no pressure involved within that. And I think that that is what YouTube should be about in the basis and premises. As soon as you start taking YouTube as a business, it becomes this big thing that you need to sort of like navigate and try to sustain over a longer period of time. But one of the questions that I got on my latest Q&As was how I run my business and how my business works. And that is something that I want to talk about in this video. Thinking back to it, like I've been doing this for over 5 years at this point. For me now, it's kind of obvious the things that I do, but when I started out, I had no idea how this worked at all. So I want to go through a little bit about when I started my business and how it turned into the business that it is today, and how I run my business and what kind of profit I get from different things and where does all the money come from, as they say. But I want you to know that I started my business back in 2012. Like that was the first time where I ever run a business. And I've been talking about this multiple times about how I had a sole proprietorship. It was definitely a lesson learned. I had absolutely no clue on how to make a profit and how to navigate that aspect of the economy, because I remember the first time when I moved from our house, or when I moved from home, one of the first paychecks that I got from my real job working at a hardware store was also spent before I had paid for any sort of food. So like I didn't grasp the concept of, oh, I need to save money throughout the entire month to be able to afford a living. But when I started, I didn't have an audience. I didn't have you watching my videos, and I didn't have the benefit of having my own studio. I didn't have anything. And the first thing that I did was selling bracelets, right? So I imported bracelets from China. And then I forgot to calculate the import fees and the taxes and all those things that you are supposed to calculate whenever you sell stuff that you import. But that, like, I didn't do that. Up until 2019, I'm gonna say, I was running my business with different things. It was like, you know, the bracelets, the apparel. I had somewhat of a okay revenue at times, but I never made a profit. There was not money coming into the business enough so that I could actually live from that. And I worked part-time jobs because that was all that I could get in order to try to run both. So the money that I made from my part-time jobs, I spent on trying to run the business. When I started YouTube, I never went into it with the thought of turning it into a business and making sure that, you know, this is gonna be my living for the foreseeable future. You always go in with hope though, and want to make that your thing, because this job, one of the best things ever. I love it, and I'm super privileged and honored to be able to do this for a living. But as with any job, you know, it becomes stale and it becomes boring. And sometimes we need to change things up in order to move forward and become better on the other side. I usually say to friends whenever I talk with them, and it's the same thing as you feeling a little bit tired with your job and you want to keep doing the same thing, but you want to have a different position or a different boss or whatever it might be. Enough backstory. I know that you're probably watching like, yeah, Peter, come on, get to the freaking point, and I will. When I first became monetized on YouTube, that was also the source of income that I had. Let me see exactly how much money that I made. This is gonna be interesting. 2019, 01, there we go. Use. So during the year of 2019, that was sort of like my surge with YouTube, I guess you can say. And I was doing a lot of freelance work, right? I was doing multiple jobs for clients, shooting, you know, obstacle course races and trying to do different commercials for different brands. And it was a fun time, but it was also incredibly stressful. And I never felt that the money that I got from doing those things actually generated enough for me to make a living. But it was just enough to sustain the expenses that we had. My channel kind of started to take off in the fall of 2019, and during the beginning of, let's see here, I think it was March. Yeah, I made 55 cents. That is sick. And then it just sort of like kept on moving like that up until the summer when I had a couple of my videos taking off, right? Towards the end of the fall, I had one video that sort of like made me $200 per day for like 3-4 days, which was insane. And the entire year of 2019, I made $11,711.78, which is more than I ever thought I would ever make on YouTube at that time. But that was also the only thing that I made. And taxes here in Sweden is that you basically take this number and they half it, and that's the money that you get into your pocket, if we're making a simple equation. So I think that throughout the entire year of 2019, I had a total personal income at around $13,000, which was way too low. And I also had a lot of debts. And then during the year of 2020, I made $40,843, which was wild. I remember this like it was the most money that I've ever made for my business, and it was such a weird thing to experience, but also freaking amazing and super grateful to have you here. In 2021, I made just $1,000 more compared to 2020, but I made more money from sponsorships during that year. In 2022, my ad revenue almost halved, which is not a good thing when you're running a business, because if your ad revenue goes down, you need to find different sources of income so that you can make more money again. And last year, I had $2,000 more than I did the year prior. And this year so far, I made $9,202 in ad revenue. I gotta say that the last 2 years or 3 years have been some of the worst years when it comes to ad revenue on YouTube for my business. But the fun thing is that I've also made more money than I made the years prior, last year and this year, which is kind of wild. So Adsense is a great thing because you can control it with the output of the videos that you make. So the more videos that you make, the more money you'll hopefully be able to get from ad revenue. But it all depends on the views as well, because if no one watches your videos, you're not gonna be able to make any money. So through the entire time of being monetized on YouTube, I've gained over 41 million views, which is wild, but also $158,138. But if you split that up, 158, what is it, like 5 years? $31,627 before taxes. That's not a lot of money. As I mentioned previously in the video, if you take that number and then half it by 2, that is approximately the amount of money that you get into your pocket here in Sweden that you can use as your private money. And that would mean that it would be around $15,813 per year that I could use privately. Now that would not be enough to be able to buy a house, right? Where do I get my other money from? Well, one of the main sources and one of the biggest sources that I'm super happy to be able to have is sponsorships. Sponsorships is something that you build up over time. It's not something that is going to get thrown at you just as soon as you start to make YouTube videos. I remember one of the first sponsorships that I got was from a brand that offered me $1,000, and they were like, well, you have 160,000 subscribers and we're going to offer you $1,000 to make this video. And that was the first video that I ever made that was sponsored, and I felt like, wow, this is huge. But now I have made videos where I charge up to $25,000 for one single video. And if you compare those numbers, like $25,000 compared to $15,800 per year, that means that if I were to make 5 of those videos, I would have made more money than I would ever make on AdSense alone. But then again, I can just talk from my own channel because this is what I know. But the example that I gave you with the $25,000 is also a very unique example. I would say that in the ballpark of the sponsorships that I have, I get paid somewhere around $6,000 up until $18,000, depending on the product, depending on the brand that I'm working with, and depending on what kind of video it is that I make. So sponsorships is by far the biggest source of income for my business. The second one is going to be my own product. During the year of 2022, I started to record my Final Cut Pro course, and it's still active. I haven't just promoted it, and I do have some episodes that I'm gonna record for it that is gonna be new and that I'm going to implement into the Final Cut Pro course as well. But when I launched that towards the end of 2022, I made around $100,000 in approximately 3 to 4 months from you purchasing the course and supporting me with buying the course. And if I could actually, choose what it is that I would promote, it would be promoting the Final Cut Pro course in every single one of my videos to you instead of making sponsored videos. But the Final Cut Pro course is a very steep expense for a lot of you that are watching. Like if I were to promote that in every single one of my videos, you'd probably get tired of it and it wouldn't be fun to watch my videos. So that is why I'm making sponsorship videos as well as selling my own products. Now, moving into the year of 2024, the Tri-Charge has been a huge success when it comes to my business and making money from my own products. It has been so well received, and I'm super grateful that there's so many of you that actually supports me and buys this product, because half of the profit that the product generates comes to me. If you are using a camera and if you want to purchase one of the best battery chargers in the world, I'm not biased, right? The Tri-Charge is the way to go. And by doing so, you also know that you're sponsoring me and my endeavors to make more YouTube videos that's just for fun. So we got the sponsorships, we got the digital products, that Final Cut Pro course, we got the physical product, which is the Tri-Charge, and then the last thing I'm gonna say is the revenue that I get from affiliate sales and also AdSense. So when you combine those two, you do get sort of like a lump sum that is good to have as an income. I consider them as sort of like a bonus because I wouldn't be able to live from the revenue of those alone. And that is basically the premise of my YouTube business. And I do get a lot of people asking me like if I do client work still, and I'm gonna consider all the sponsorships that I have on my channel, those are my clients. Those are the clients that I prioritize to make videos for, and then I make videos for my own gain and I make videos for you as well, so that I try to find a nice balance between all the different things. Do I make freelance videos? Do I make videos for other corporations outside of my YouTube channel? No, I do not. I decided in 2021 that I wanted to focus on making only YouTube videos and the videos that I find to be fun to make. Some of you might be watching this right now and thinking that, well, how do I apply any of this to my own business? I'm gonna say a couple of things that I've learned. The first thing is going to be make sure that you start building your personal brand. Make sure that you start forging your own way and how to promote you as a person. Because if you get a sponsorship, you're not only charging for the video that you post to your channel, you're also charging for you as the person to promote the product to you in this case, which is my audience. And you're also being the face out for the brand. You can think of it as the example if Michael Jordan were to promote a couple of sneakers, then he is the one promoting that. Like he is the face, he is the brand that is selling those sneakers. I think that YouTubers and persons with a lot of followers should be thinking the same thing, because we built up an audience that wants to follow us and that is supporting us in the things that we do. And by calculating, the entire cost of promoting this product to you as the audience, that is what you should, push to the sponsorship. When you're starting out, it's very hard to stand firm with the deals that you want to land, but I would say that you should absolutely not give in too early. These brands, most of them have a lot of money. A brand is reaching out to you, they want to offer you a free product. That product in and by itself, you wouldn't be able to make that video without having that product. Think about that first. Try to focus on making the videos that you enjoy making, and then just push out as many of those videos as you can while building your own brand. Because eventually, hopefully, you're gonna have such a big brand that brands that are multi-billion-dollar brands gonna reach out and say like, hey, we like your stuff. Do you want to promote our product on your channel? It is also very important to have a strategy of what it is that you want to accomplish, because starting up YouTube is not going to generate money from the get-go. That's how it is. You gotta start YouTube and start your influencer, building your own brand business with creating stuff. Creating something that is going to generate 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line. But that is also something that's very hard. So if you start today and you start to make a couple of videos and then quit in a couple of months, then that's not going to generate any sort of revenue. You're also going to be willing to invest the time that is required for you to reach a point where you can start charging brands, or where you can start making money from AdSense, or where you can start gaining affiliate sales. So having a strategy of where you want to be in a couple of years is crucial. And one of the things that I use every single year is something that's called a mind map. It's basically you list up everything that you want to accomplish for the year or for the coming years, and then sort of like as soon as you reach them, you can check them off, and it feels good. It's a nice thing because all the things we got in here is good to get on paper. Making business on YouTube is something that requires you to be doing everything. So having a strategy of how you're going to build your own brand is going to be crucial, but it's also going to be crucial that you learn how to run a business. I'm probably not going to jump into all the details about how I run my business, but if you'd like to see a video on my business structure or my corporate structure, if you may, then do drop a comment down below. I'd love to make a video on that too. I don't know if this video made any sort of sense at all, but it feels like I got a lot off my chest that I wanted to share with you. Anyway, whenever you make videos for YouTube and whenever you start a YouTube channel, don't do it for the money. Start because it's fun, and then keep doing the fun videos. If you just do that, everything else will come eventually. That's how it is. Okay, time to fix in the lawn again. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya.